breakdowns of deep episodes and theories for emotional character journeys in Heartland. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this beautiful show as much as I do. Additionally, do not forget to ring the notification bell to be notified immediately upon our upload of a new video. The video today is not only unique, but also extremely moving. In Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, we're going to look at Ty Borden's big comeback. After years of longing, grieving, and unanswered questions, Ty is now back. And with him returns a wave of love, pain, and healing. This episode is about more than just shock. It's about reconnection, redemption, and rekindling lost hope. We will go through every powerful moment, including Amy's emotional reaction, Lindy's innocent recognition, Jack's wisdom, Lou's conflict, George's strength, Tim's tough but kind heart, and that private conversation that made Ty and Amy both cry. So, grab a warm beverage and a comfy seat, and let's embark on a journey together into one of Heartland's most memorable episodes. It's necessary to travel back in time to the exact moment he left us before we can explore his return. Ty Borden wasn't just a central character, he was the emotional heartbeat of Heartland. Ty's arc was a journey of growth, love, and redemption, from a troubled teen placed on the ranch as part of his probation to a devoted partner to Amy, a father to Lindy, and a compassionate animal healer. In Season 14, his sudden passing was shocking. He was protecting Amy when he was shot and later died from a blood clot. The world of Heartland, both on screen and off, was shaken to its core. Every fan shared Amy's devastation. The barn seemed less full. Quieter was the air. Even the horses seemed more solemn. Despite her heartbreak, Amy did not give up. She found strength in Lindy, leaned on Jack's wisdom, and rebuilt her identity piece by piece. But even as she moved forward, the loss of Ty cast a shadow over everything. His memory was carried by every fence post, every hike, and every sound of the wind blowing across the fields. However, fans never gave up on their hopes. Is a miracle still possible? Could Ty ever come back? The writers of Heartland did not just suddenly bring Ty back. Throughout Season 18, they planted subtle seeds, whispering to the audience that Ty's story might not be over. Amy would occasionally wake up from dreams, her face wet with tears, muttering Ty's name. When Lindy was young, she would say things like, "I heard him in the barn," or "I saw Daddy in the clouds." When discussing Ty, Jack would sometimes pause in the middle of a sentence, as if he were sensing something more profound. These were not merely recollections. They were hints, gentle, empathetic brushstrokes that formed the background for a return that was both magical and grounded. Season 19 marks the beginning of a quiet stillness. The sky is a soft shade of blue. The weight of the breeze is familiar. Amy is in the barn brushing Spartan, her heart clearly heavy but calm. Lindy runs through the field, chasing butterflies. The present is tranquil. The camera then pans to the trees. A shadow appears. Unmistakably, Ty Borden, a man, steps forward, getting slower as he gets older. The air shifts. The light shifts. And just like that, Ty is home. Amy initially doesn't believe it when she sees him in person. Her throat catches her breath. Spartan's mane is still in her hands. The brush falls to the floor. She stumbles backward as her eyes widen in disbelief and whispers, "No, it can't be." Ty simply says, "Amy," taking a cautious step forward. His voice is familiar, yet distant, like a melody she hadn't heard in years, but never forgot. She moves tremblingly toward him, her eyes searching for evidence that this is not a dream. She then asks, "Ty, are you real?" In a voice that trembles with love and pain. Ty nods as he reaches out and gently strokes her cheek. In that moment, the years of grief, the nights of crying, and the dreams of what could have been crash over her like a wave. In his arms, she breaks down and cries into his shoulder. He clings to her like he hasn't let go. And for a brief moment, time stops. Later, as they sit together, Amy asks how any of this is possible. Ty reveals a heartbreaking truth. He did survive, but he was injured, confused, and taken in by a faraway individual who helped him recover. For years, he had no recollection of his past. It only began to return recently. He tells her, "I knew I had to find my way home." Amy's tears change into tears of relief. She is not in a dream. He is here. He then returned to her. When Lindy enters the barn with her tiny boots gently tapping on the floor, it is the most moving moment. She tilts her head when she sees a man kneeling near Spartan. "Mommy, who is that?" Amy, still shaken but composed, crouches down beside her daughter and says, "That's your daddy." Lindy's eyes expand. Her small hands tightly hold her stuffed horse. She makes a cautious but curious approach to him. Ty is overwhelmed as he looks at her. He says, "Hello, Lindy," gently. "I'm your father." Lindy pauses, studying him. She then reaches out and touches his hand, the most innocent and powerful moment of the episode. She says with a grin, "You look like the man in the picture next to my bed." A soft smile. "Occasionally, I dream about you." Tears well up in Ty's eyes. He completely knelt down, wraps his arms around her, and holds her like he will never let go. Lindy pulls back just enough to look at him and says, "You smell like horses." When everyone laughs, the ranch feels complete once more. As he navigates Ty Borden's shocking return, Heartland's solid rock, Jack Bartlett, brings his signature blend of wisdom and quiet strength. At first, Jack is frozen, not in disbelief, but in awe of a miracle he had quietly prayed for but never expected. He carried Ty's death with him for years, like an aged saddle that was worn but still strong. Jack's calm demeanor is belied by a slight tremble in his voice when he first sees Ty for the first time. But as always, Jack's strength lies in how he processes these deep feelings with grace and insight. He doesn't rush Ty with judgments or questions. Knowing that healing cannot be forced, he instead takes a step back, looks around, and provides space for Ty and Amy to reconnect. It has to happen by itself. Later, Jack and Ty sit together in the barn, where many memories are kept. In that quiet moment, he says, "Son, life rarely gives us second chances. But when it does, you hold on to them with everything you've got." It goes beyond advice. Jack is showing Ty that forgiveness, love, and family will always be here by opening his heart. He carries the depth of someone who has experienced loss and love. His eyes are heavy with experience. Everyone is reminded of what Heartland has always stood for, which is loyalty, faith, and unconditional love, by Jack's emotional depth. Georgie's journey has always been one of resilience, and her response to Ty's return reflects just how far she's come. She never admitted how much Ty's death affected her, because she looked up to him as a father figure and mentor. Ty believed in her even when she didn't believe in herself. As a result, when he returns, buried sorrow and unexpected healing emerge. Georgie is stunned at first, remaining silent and wide-eyed. She stares at him for a long time, looking for answers because she recognizes his face. "Is it really you?" she mumbles. Then she embraces him with the raw intensity of someone who never got to say goodbye. Later, she considers how Ty's return provides clarity for her own path as shock gives way to emotion. She has developed into a confident, independent woman who recognizes the significance of accepting the unexpected. Georgie makes the decision to warmly welcome Ty back, not only for the sake of Amy and Lindy, but also because she is aware that life rarely offers second chances. Her ability to support Amy without being overbearing and to subtly reassure her that it is acceptable for her to experience rage, joy, love, and confusion simultaneously is evidence of her development. Georgie is prepared to walk that path with her family because she is aware that healing is a process. The way Lou Fleming reacts to Ty's return is a powerful mix of conflict, overwhelm, and hope. Lou has always been the pragmatic one, the planner, the fixer. She learned to keep her emotions in check, especially for Amy and Lindy's sake. But when she sees Ty standing at the ranch again, alive, and changed the structure she built to manage her grief begins to crumble. She has 100 thoughts running through her head. How could this be? Where has he been? Why not now? But despite her logical instincts, Lou can't help the surge of joy that rushes through her chest. As she cautiously moves forward to separate them, her eyes well up with tears. She worries that if she gets too close to him, he might disappear like a ghost. She is terrified of awakening. Her breath catches, and for a moment, she hesitates. She has a lot to say, but the weight of her feelings is hard on her chest. She still gathers herself. She is low, strong, steady, and the one who has always maintained composure. Today, however, she loses her composure. When she finally speaks, her voice shakes. "We thought we lost you forever." After years of loss and uncertainty, the words escape like a long-held breath. Her emotions lie raw beneath the surface. Years spent watching Amy crumble, trying to be strong for her daughter, for her father, for everyone. Lou has always been the glue, the one who stepped up when others faltered. But even glue cracks under enough pressure, and Ty's return threatens to break her wide open. She is aware that this will not be easy. She knows that behind every tear, there are questions, doubts, wounds that never properly healed. Although his return may be a miracle, miracles have consequences. In quiet, private moments, she confides in Peter, her voice softer, more vulnerable than usual. "I'm scared," she tells him. Scared for Amy, Lindy, and each of us individually. We built a life around his absence. What will take place now that he is back? But even beneath that fear lies something deeper, something she barely dares to name: hope. A fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, this could be the beginning of something new? A path toward healing. Tim Fleming has never been known for softness. He's blunt, gruff, and rarely filters his words. People mistake his sharp tongue for coldness. But those who know him best understand it's armor. It's how he survived loss, guilt, and a life that didn't always go the way he planned. When Ty walks through that door, Tim feels a shift. The ground beneath him appears to be shaking. He's not ready for this, not emotionally, not mentally. Control is his default reaction. Anger takes its place when control is lost. "Where the hell have you been?" he demands, with a raised voice and a flushed face. "Do you even comprehend what you did to this family?" He walks, glares fast and sharp, and Tim unrelentingly asks questions like bullets. It's easier to be enraged than to admit that he is heartbroken, that he cried for Ty, and that he misses him more than he can ever express. But the mask slips when no one's looking. His eyes glisten. His voice falters. He then finally allows himself to feel everything when he is alone in the pasture where he used to ride with Ty. The wind blows past him as if it were a memory as he sits in the tall grass. He whispers, "I couldn't protect them, more to the sky than to anyone else," as he stares out at the horizon. "Amy was disappointed in me. I failed Lindy. Ty failed me." Because of the pain in his voice, Ty finds him there. There is no longer any resentment between the two men who have shared a lifetime of love and loss. Ty says gently, "You didn't fail Tim. You protected them. That's all I ever wanted." Tim gives a slow nod. For the first time in years, his heart feels a little lighter. However, Amy and Ty's relationship is the pivotal point in everything. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. Two people are sitting in the silence that only a long, shared history can provide in a quiet cabin by a still lake. They don't start talking right away. They share too much: grief, longing, love, betrayal, and hope. Amy examines his face, as if she were attempting to identify the man she once knew as she looks at him. Her hands tremble. She whispers, her voice cracking, "I thought I'd never see you again." Ty says nothing at first. He simply reaches for her hand. Their fingers meet, tentative at first, then firm. A veiled assurance that this, whatever it is important. He eventually starts to explain the danger, the impossible choices, and why, in his opinion, staying away was the only way to safeguard her and Lindy. Amy listens, torn apart by every word. Her eyes narrow, then soften, then fill with tears again. "You should have trusted me," she says. "We were a team." Tay's voice is filled with guilt. "I know. Furthermore, I never stopped loving you. Not even for a second." That's the moment her anger begins to melt because the love between them never left. It was just buried beneath too much pain, and as they begin to really talk, they find their way back to each other. Word by word, tear by tear. Amy describes Lindy to him, including her first words, her laugh, and her fears. Ty listens intently, silently appreciating that there's still time, while mourning all the time he has lost and consuming every detail. She deserves to know you, Amy says softly. We both do. Ty nods, eyes brimming with tears. I'll spend the rest of my life making it right if you'll let me. And in that small, powerful moment, a door cracks open. It is not flawless. There is no bow attached to it. But it is correct. It's the first step on a new path. That concludes it, Heartland fans. The return of Ty Borden in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, was more than just a surprise, it was a reckoning. It was about love tested by time. Through suffering, forgiveness was fought for, and the kind of healing that takes more than words. It takes presence. Amy's tears. Lindy's smile. Jack's quiet, grounding wisdom. Lou's strength was disguised by her vulnerability. Georgie's fierce, steady spirit. The restoration of light in Tim's broken heart. It all came together in one unforgettable episode that reminded us why we've loved this show for so long. What did you think of Tay's return? Was it everything you hoped for? Do you believe he and Amy can rebuild not what they had before, but something new? Maybe even stronger? And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you never miss another Heartland moment. Keep being kind, keep being strong, and never stop believing in the magic of Heartland until the next time. Because horses, ranches, and even heartbreak were never the only aspects of Heartland. The real subject was always at home. It was about returning to the people who never gave up on you. The love that never died. Additionally, the location where genuine second chances exist. Tay didn't just come back, he returned home. And maybe that's the truest kind of miracle. For more heartfelt updates, behind-the-scenes moments, and all things Heartland, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Next Door. There's so much more to come, and trust us, you won't want to miss a single moment. Until next time, keep your heart open, your spirit strong, and remember, sometimes the greatest journeys are the ones that lead us home. For more interesting updates, subscribe to our channel on Nextdoor. Or if you want it to sound a bit more casual and engaging, want more interesting updates? Make sure to subscribe to our Nextdoor channel.